What's up, everybody? Pop Culture Philosophers here. You know, we always think that every once in a while you gotta take a break, you gotta chill with your homies, you gotta watch a movie. Tonight we watched Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Alright, we watched Episode 7, The Force Awakens. You know, we've been waiting for this forever. We have been building this up, if you've been watching the YouTube videos, building up the journey to Force Awakens, and here we are at The Force Awakens. I'm just going to say I was super excited to see this movie. It did not disappoint me. Maybe Kylo Ren wasn't as intimidating without the mask. Okay? I will say that. Otherwise, I really liked this movie. I thought it had a lot of cool stuff in it. It was a repeat of Episode 4, or A New Hope, the original Star Wars movie, but I enjoyed it. It thrilled me. It had me laughing. It had me on the edge of my seat. I enjoyed it immensely. I want to know what the pop culture philosophers have to think about it. So, Jelani, what do you think about The Force Awakens? Please tell us.
I love this film. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, it's Star Wars. It's the best part of nostalgia, and it's the best part of the new story. It's these characters coming together for the first time for their own adventure, and it's a lot of just culture that's involved with it, because it's the same world, but you're getting new people's views on that world. And I love the story. I love the pacing. I love everything about it. It just felt like I was home again. It makes up for all of the prequels. It destroys the prequels. And so I'm very excited that this movie came out. I'm very excited that I was a part of it. It feels like history. When I watched it, it felt like, you know, this felt like how you watched it in probably 77 when you saw New Hope.
Yeah.
That's how I felt when I watched it.
99 did not feel like 2000.
Did not feel that way.
Yeah, like 1977.
Right. But you feel it. You get that feeling. And that's a feeling for our generation. And it makes, for newer people who've never watched Star Wars, I watched it with people that never saw Star Wars. Right. And they've enjoyed it. And they watched it for the first time with fresh eyes. And it's going to make billions.
Speaking of making billions, we finally have Michael Finley here on a podcast. Or on a video, whatever you want to call it. Finley, the infamous. What do you think about Force Awakens?
Gotta agree with Jelani. I like the nostalgia feel to it. Some people are complaining that it's a straight rip-off of Episode 4. But who didn't like Episode 4?
Right?
You get that thrill, that exhilaration of, you know, orphan kid comes up, gets caught up in intergalactic battle, stuff happens, Death Star, lightsabers, the Force. What's not to enjoy about it?
Speaking of what's not to enjoy about it, John Holshoe loves Star Wars, even though Return of the Jedi is his favorite of the saga. But we have vowed not to mention that again.
Ewoks.
John, what do you think of this movie, Episode 7?
I loved it. It was fun. From start to finish, it was fun. Actually, I got so wrapped up in the new characters that when they introduced the old, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that's right, they're in this.
Oh, absolutely.
Because even though I was excited about those old characters more initially going into the film, the new characters were great. I love everything about it. Tons of fun from beginning to end. And I'm so eager for the next film.
Ooh, Speaking of eager, you know who else is eager for the next film? Mark Lanier. Please tell us what you think about the movie.
I like to lead in.
I like what John said there, because again, I've never really seen Star Wars until the last month or two. So it was nice to have fresh characters that nobody knew about. So I had a whole new experience with everyone else. Everyone learned about, you know, Finn and Rey and all these new characters, Poe and all of them. And it was great. It was about a movie about legacy. I loved it. I love stories that build off each other. Fantastic.
I agree with these guys. This movie was great. It built on the legacy of Star Wars. I love seeing Han Solo in the movie. Like, it made me feel good to see Harrison Ford there again. Even if he was going through the motions, it was still cool just to see Han there, Chewie there, R2-D2, for what little part he was, and C-3PO annoyed me, just like he does in every Star Wars movie. So it was just like a Star Wars movie. You know? But it was really cool. My favorite part was Kylo Ren. Like, I love this character. I'm excited to see where he goes. I loved the new characters. Rey and Finn really hit it home with me.
Yeah.
I
Love
really
their interaction.
love those guys. Yeah, it's great. I love
chemistry.
the whole. One thing I love
Everything.
about this film is the cast is very diverse. You know, and the previous Star Wars films have always been non-diverse, if you should say. You're right, like for real. And so this one was very diverse, and a lot of people can be involved in this, and it's just so fun to me as a movie. I want to talk about the themes real quick. To me, it's the same themes as A New Hope, because it is a repeat of the theme of New Hope, which is the same theme of every heroic movie. It's the heroic journey. Someone finds out that they have a destiny, they are called to action against a great evil, and they go and they fight that evil and resist it, right? And this is a saga, so this is the first step in this resistance. That is Rey's story. I love that Kylo Ren mirrors the Vader story, but instead of being someone on the dark side, or, you know, he was someone on the light side, like Luke in the previous saga too, right? They're fighting with the dark side. And Kylo is fighting with the light side. I love that flip. It's the same story, but just different. There is no difference, really. It's just the other side of the same coin, right? I love that. But straight up, Finn, I love his story. I think the theme of that is nature over nurture. And everybody's always talking about that kind of stuff, right? But it's about how if we take the gumption, right, if you will, we can deprogram ourselves from our programming from when we were children. And that's what Finn does in this movie very, very early on. I want to know what these guys think about the themes. John, you're a pop culture philosopher, old school, like 6 months into it.
That's old school.
What
I
are the
think-
themes of this movie?
I think there's that good versus evil, and there's that it shows that evil will always rise up, but the good will always rise up to stop it. And they did. They came back. I mean, the first was the First Order, right?
Mhm.
I mean, they're
Yeah.
what of the old Empire or whatever, and
Yeah, the
so
remnants of the
the
old
remnants of the
Empire.
old Empire, and of course, you know, the Jedi's rise up, or what left of the Jedi's,
Right.
and to strike back, and of course you got the X-Wing pods and everything. And so I think it does mirror the themes of A New Hope a lot, and it mirrors a lot of things of A New Hope, but I don't think that makes it a bad movie.
No.
It adds more nostalgia to it, but there's still a lot that sets it apart. I don't know.
They gave you everything in this movie that we wanted to see in episode 1, but didn't get. So
Right.
they did it right. They learned their lessons,
Excellent.
Yeah.
and they did it right. Speaking of doing it right, Mark Lanier does it right every day.
Oh!
Tell us what you think about
What is
things
that?
in this movie.
Oh! He knows firsthand.
I like the theme of legacy.
Yes.
Love that because like you
Amen,
said,
brother.
Kylo Ren, he is the grandson of Darth Vader. He wants to follow in his footsteps.
Spoiler.
Not necessarily Anakin's footsteps, because he didn't look up to Anakin. He looked up to Darth Vader. Anakin, as we know, eventually went back to the light side before he died, and he doesn't look up to that. He looks up to the dark side. I like how Luke, who's apparently his uncle,
Spoiler
was
alert.
given the choice of striking down his father, Darth Vader, to join to the dark side. And in this movie, we saw, again, spoiler, Han gets struck down by Kylo Ren. You know,
Oh, that
so-
scene was heartbreaking, even though it was spoiled for me.
Oh!
It was heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, and I love to see it. Like, I need you to help me to make that leap. And Han's like, I will help you in anything. Right? And you're like, oh, it
He
tears
just
at
died.
you.
By the way, it's the
Exactly.
biggest spoiler in the movie.
It's a great parallel.
It is.
It is a
Legacy.
parallel.
Because that was his gift. He chose to join the dark side. He wanted to do that. He wanted to complete his training.
By the way, if you really want to see something funny, go check out emo Kylo Ren's tweets on the internet. Okay, it is great. There's one where it's
This
like,
is good.
Lando said that my helmet looks like a sad lampshade. Everyone laughed. I hate this family. It was great. It was great. Speaking of hating this family, Finley doesn't hate us. What do you think about the themes in this movie?
The theme one of the themes I really liked in this was I'm gonna call your boy from Knight's Tale, the Joker.
Oh,
Heath
Heath Ledger.
Ledger.
Heath Ledger.
In
Okay.
Knight's Tale, he said this one line where a man can change his stars. This is what I like about Finn. Is Finn comes along, he gets taken up from his childhood, raised up to be a stormtrooper, and at one point when he gets called into the heat of battle, he says, "I don't want to do this." Goes against his his nurture, as some people say, nature versus nurture kind of thing. He goes against that. Then later on, he's thrust into the position of, here's a lightsaber. Why don't you go use that? He's like, the whole movie he was running away, asking for a blaster. This
Yeah.
was what was ingrained to him.
Mm-hmm.
So when he gets that lightsaber, it's almost touching on the legacy part, because when you're watching the trailers, the stills, the posters, you see Finn hold his lightsaber, and you're like, yeah, I want to see that man hold that lightsaber. I want to see him be a Jedi.
Oh yeah.
But isn't in his destiny? Can he change his stars to be a Jedi? We don't know until we see the next couple of parts. But he gets that lightsaber. He gives it his all. But spoiler, it's just not enough.
Yeah.
He is not, at the end of this movie. He is not a Jedi.
I love.
He is not the world's greatest pilot. Obviously,
Yeah,
he is not the greatest warrior. He is not the greatest anything. He's still trying to find his spot in this movie. But we love his interaction with Rey and everything else. We just don't know what Finn is yet.
No offense to Finn at all, because I love the character.
Love
This is what they
Finn's
intended Jar Jar Binks to be in the prequels.
Oh,
Like, no lie. That character that's just trying to fit in, trying to find his way.
They
And
did
I
a
love
horrible job
I love
with
the
Jar Jar
implication
Binks.
there. Like, you may not be a Jedi, Finn. You may not be the wise Jedi of the universe. That's probably Rey. And I love the bait and switch there.
Yep.
Because in all the promotional material, it was Finn with that
It's
lightsaber.
Finn with the lightsaber.
But it's
Yeah,
Rey.
she's holding that staff.
Yeah.
It's Rey. Spoiler
Yeah,
alert.
it's Rey, right? And that's great. But even though Finn may not be a Jedi,
Not yet.
can
Maybe.
he not
He
help
could be.
It could
the
be.
Resistance? Can he not fucking do his part and
Han
change
Solo
his life?
wasn't a Jedi.
Han Solo, Chewbacca,
Yeah.
right?
R2.
Those guys, R2-D2. Absolutely, those guys were not Jedi.
I just have my hopes
Leia
up
has
so
never
high.
really developed her power to even become a Jedi, but still uses her abilities to the best of her ability to fight and be free.
And Trent
And
James Bond.
the movies are about being free. But absolutely, Finn is, he's important in this series. And
Oh,
he
yeah.
will develop.
Oh,
he
yeah.
may develop into a Jedi.
He could.
He may develop into just a badass Han Solo type character. But I'm very excited to see where it goes. In fact, speaking of being excited to see where it goes, I'm excited to see what this motherfucker has to say. Jelani, what about the themes?
Man, you guys hit every point that I think.
Okay, then video's over.
But at the same time, there's a lot to look at. If you're gonna go for themes, I like plucky spirit. I like the plucky spirit of everyone in this movie,
Yeah.
down to BB-8.
Yeah,
BB-8
BB-8.
Oh, I love
has
BB-8.
by far the best character development of a robot that doesn't speak and you don't understand what's going on. Even it's even doing a thumbs up with a lighter. I mean,
Is it a thumbs up or is it a fuck you
no, it's a
for
thumbs
stealing
up.
that
It's like,
information
yeah,
for me?
yeah.
I think it could go either way.
I mean, and the fact that they made these characters so broad to the point where even the robots are cool, or the droids are cool.
yeah, it's a
and you
replication
made-
of New Hope, man.
It's a replication of New Hope. It's a feeling of course, the light versus the dark.
Yes.
You want that. You want that struggle. And the character, the one that the Cantina, I can't remember her name. The one that's played by the
Maz.
Yeah, Max.
Man,
Max.
yeah, yeah,
Her
the Yoda
feeling-
almost of this
She is
film.
kind of the Yoda. She doesn't have
That's
Jedi
what Yoda
powers,
Yeah.
but she knows the Force.
Her CG is phenomenal.
And it's it's beautiful.
And
Oh,
if you
by the
wanna,
way,
if you want to know who Rey
It's
is
seamless.
related to, obviously,
No, it's not.
it's got to be Luke.
Of course, it's Luke.
I can point out
Because
I pointed out 7
She
things.
says to Rey,
Legacy.
straight up, she
Seven.
says to
It's already
Rey,
been spoiled on the internet.
this was Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber.
Yeah.
It went to his son Luke, and now it calls to you. And they
The
know
first
we know
trailer
that this
spoils
song,
it.
this whole song
Yeah.
is about the Skywalker
Skywalker family.
legacy.
Yeah.
Like so.
There are only Jedi's left.
Yeah.
Just
Would
waiting
you
for her to
guys-
lose her hand.
Would you guys be surprised if she looked in the box and there was also a severed hand?
Oh,
That
I
would've
was
been
waiting for it. That's what I said
It's all
every time.
mummified.
I was
I want a
hoping.
hand attached to
It's
the
just
lightsaber.
I was hoping that the opening of this film would not be an important, like a Star Destroyer going through, but like a hand holding a lightsaber.
Just floating in the sky. And we
That'd be
caught
so
it.
great.
Got it.
We had a lot of
Good
fun with
story.
Force Awakens. We hope you did too. Check us out. Please subscribe if you like the videos. Give us a thumbs up. That really helps us out a lot. And let us know in the comments below what you think about the movie, what you thought the themes were, what it taught you, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. We all loved it. Basically,
Yeah.
it's a great film. Let's all get together. Let's go together.
Awesome film.
Remember, when you watch movies, because we all like to do it, there's one thing you got to do if you really want to know what it means to you.
Don't do it.
Dig.
I still don't know what that means.
No one does. No one does.